tunazungumzia maadili ama uadilifu miongoni mwa vijana.
Allah amekuamuru wafanyie wazazi wako wema. Mzazi hahitaji kitu kwako, anachohitaji ni ihtiram.
Tunazungumzia maadili ama uadilifu miongoni mwa vijana.
Allah amekuamuru wafanyie wazazi wako wema. Mzazi hahitaji kitu kwako, anachohitaji ni ihtiram.
It's a universal language. Love it is superior. Your devil complex inferior. Oh yes, worshipping material. Everything, ever blessed. So everything, ever blessed. Arise, rise. No, I'm hurting but not broken. He blessing all day. When we first met, I never felt something so strong. You were like my lover and my best friend.
Sir, something urgent has just come up. May I leave work? What's wrong? Jing Jing, that agency ripped me off. I gave them my rent last week.
You have no choice.
I've got nothing! I already told you that I gave all my money to that agency.
This is a really big deal. You need to be serious.
I am being serious about this. Hey guys, I just arrived at the party. And I know that I might be ruining the surprise you had planned, so I'm really sorry about that.
Good afternoon to you and good to see you this lovely afternoon of the 3rd of October 2023. My name is Abdiaziz. Hashim. My co-anchor this lovely afternoon is Susan Thuku. You're just in time for the latest in the world of current affairs, business as well as sports. Now currently we are monitoring the situation at the Bomas of Kenya, also in Kericho in terms of the Mashujaa Day celebration, its preparations that will be headed by our reporter Beatrice Gatonya. We have that and so much more this lovely afternoon for you. But we start with matters of the government's delivery service, that is GDS, has embarked on an inspection of several ongoing national government development projects, now led by its Secretary Silvana Sosele. The surveillance tour in Migori County intends to verify and establish the progress of the projects across the country. Now the government is undertaking different projects in the region, among them the Mabera Sub-County Housing Project in Migori, Isabenia Last Mile Water Project and Gogo Dam Project, among others.
For us, all of us here represent various departments of government, and that is why we are here. We keep giving updates on the status of government projects all the time, and you will be seeing us very many times trying to see what is going around. Of course, many of the projects are not complete because they are in progress.
Migori Hispania water project. That one is a 350 million project. There used to be the old project that was serving 700 connections. And then currently there is development of last mile connectivity, which is supposed to add more connections. So far the last mile connectivity is supposed to bring in additional 2,000 connections on top of the original 700. Now that project has the capacity to produce 3,000 cubic meters per day, but it's underutilized because of the last mile connectivity effect. So the government is implementing a last mile connectivity which is at 96% complete.
And in other news, transport along the busy Mahimahio Narok Highway at Duka Moja Shopping Center was temporarily halted for close to 4 hours after irate Morans barricaded the section of the road with bonfires, alleging runaway insecurity. Now, according to the residents, the protest criminals have continued to wreak havoc in the area, making life unbearable. The protest, which later turned violent, allegedly led to the injury of some police officers. In condemning the incident, Narok East Sub-County Commander cautioned the locals against engaging in acts of violence.
Hiyo duka iligharimu milioni 3 na zaidi. Na hiyo mzigo ni mwenyewe ndiye alikuja kufungua duka, akaona hakuna. Kukuta duka hakuna na askari hajaona wao wanafanya nini duka moja wase.
Ni mara mingi tukiwa duka moja, last year tuliuliwa mtu hapa. Tulipata ikafunjwa duka hapa tena. Leo tukasema leo hatutanyamaza, tukafunga barabara. Kwa hivyo hiyo kitu ndio imeleta commotion na hatutakubali leo na hata kesho hata milele.
Tunataka hawa majambazi washikwe na wakamatwe na wafungiwe. Number 2, tunataka compensation, kwa sababu tumeambiwa ati compensation itafanywa within 14 days. Kama hakuna compensation after 14 days tutafunga hii barabara. Ili ndio tupate haki.
Still to security-related matters, residents of Wamba Village, Samburu East constituency are living in fear for their lives after a National Police Reservist was attacked in his homestead and his gun taken by criminals. Noting that this was the second time of this incident in recent days, they express fears of more lives could be lost if speedy intervention isn't taken to restore the security in the area.
Wamba village residents and business owners are living in fear following the attack on a National Police Reservist homestead, leaving him nursing injuries and his firearms stolen. The locals want investigations done fast to have the culprits brought to book and the gun returned.
Huwezi kubali hiyo mchezo vijana wanafanya. Sisi ndio tunazaa hao warani. Na tunataka hiyo bunduki itolewe haraka sana. Hiyo bunduki ni ya serikali. Hiyo bunduki inaweza kutuletea shida.
Mimi nasikia kulia kama mtoto tu, kama mtoto yangu anakuja kufahamia mtoto yangu kuua mtoto yangu kwa bomba, kuja kumanyang'anya bunduki au akapika mtoto yangu mbele ya watoto yake mpaka mbele ya mama mzee ako ndani ya hiyo bomba.
Business owners are also concerned that the insecurity situation is taking a toll on their businesses.
Wamba bila shaka ukisikia bunduki ati imeibiwa na iko mkononi wahalifu, hiyo ni hatari. Kwa hivyo sio kitu mzuri.
The authorities, however, assured residents of their safety, even as investigations into the attack on the police reservists continue. Yusufa reporting for Lunchtime News.
Let's now head over to the corridors of justice, where a family in Lasos, Nandi County is moving to the Supreme Court to challenge the decision by the appellant court to uphold the transfer of their 100 million Kenya shilling parcel of land to a former cabinet minister. Now, the family of the late councillor Josiah Kibisem Sang say it is questioning the legality of the documents used to transfer the land. However, the former minister has maintained his innocence, claiming that the said property was used as settlements in dispute over a debt owed to him by a member of the late councillor's family.
Marehemu Joseph Leting hakuweza kununua samba kutoka kwa familia ya marehemu Josiah Kipsem Sang. Kwa sababu hii ndio tumefanya maombi kwa Court of Appeal.
I have seen unfairness, justice denied by the judiciary. I would seek the Chief Justice to investigate that file and find out what has happened in that file.
Also, some good news here at the Broadcasting House, where over 25 employees at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation have graduated after 2 weeks refresher course at the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication. Now, the training done in collaboration with media expert aims at enhancing the skill set among employees and creating a competitive edge in the evolving media industry. Now, speaking during the ceremony, KIMC management and KBC leadership hailed the partnership and called on the graduates to enhance the acquired skills by ensuring they reflect in the work output.
We shall bring more and be sure that even the ministry, our parent ministry, for you and us, the KBC management are in support of this initiative very, very much. And we want to trust that the skills that our officers have gained is going to really make a difference.
To succeed in promoting the agenda that is of interest to the public. And I'm sure the public broadcaster has measured to its taste. We too, as a training institution, will sustain our abilities to provide requisite skills through various platforms that you manage.
Congratulations are in order to our colleagues who graduated that particular refresher course. Now to other news, President William Ruto has welcomed the United Nations Security Council's approval of the multinational security support mission to Haiti. The head of state says that the resolution made last night will aid emergency relief, humanitarian aid and support for the livelihoods of the Haiti citizens. Kenya is deploying 1,000 police officers to Haiti to join their peers from contributing countries in battling criminal gangs who have taken over the Haitian streets, engaging in violent crimes and trafficking in human arms as well as drugs.
The vote taken on Monday, the Security Council voted to send a multinational armed forces to be led by Kenya to the Caribbean nation as the world commits to support it in dealing with violent gangs. The resolution was approved by 13 votes, while Russia and China abstained. President William Ruto has welcomed the move as a win for the Haiti people, as the presence of the multinational forces would facilitate the distribution of aid and support for livelihoods.
The mission is also mandated to secure the country's critical infrastructure, including air and seaports, as well as other vital transit arteries and intersections. I welcome the resolution as an overdue and critical instrument to define the multinational mission. This mission is a fundamental intervention to provide the necessary conditions for Haiti to consolidate its development and governance.
The head of state says the mission is focused on solely providing an appropriate environment for the leadership of a country to chart a path for stability, development, and democratic governance.
A different footprint in the history of international interventions in Haiti, and emphasize that it is aimed solely at providing an appropriate environment for the leadership of both the political and civil society sectors to usher in stability, development, and democratic governance through a political framework owned and driven by the people of Haiti.
On criticism of Kenya's decision to deploy police officers to Haiti, Ruto said Kenya possesses excellent international peace mediating, peacekeeping, peacemaking and peace-building credentials and cannot afford to stand in the periphery in moments of human suffering.
In our struggle, we always had friends, not an overwhelming multitude of powerful allies, yet nevertheless, true, loyal, and determined friends. The people of Haiti, our dear friends, today stand in need. It is our fundamental moral obligation to be their friend indeed by standing with them.
He has also rallied African nations to support the mission, christening it a Pan-African commitment to Africa's unity, together with the African Union's policy of solidarity with the African diaspora.
When newly independent states were investing in the future by building infrastructure, setting up systems of self-governance, and developing capacity to flourish in freedom, unfortunately, Haitians were being forced to invest in a cruel past by being made to pay for refusing to be slaves. As a result of this injustice, perpetrated by colonialists with the silent connivance of international institutions, Haiti lost decades of development opportunity and became vulnerable to calamities.
Other nations deploying forces to Haiti are Jamaica, Bahamas, Antigua, and Barbuda. John Jacob Curia, Lunchtime News.
And now I want to take you live to Kericho County, where I do understand that we have our reporter Beatrice Gatonye on standby. Beatrice, good afternoon. We want to hear from you if the preparations that are currently ongoing at Kericho, given that it will be the host county of this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations, are ongoing, and various key stakeholders, including the Interior Principal Secretary, that is Raymond Omolo. We do hear he will be coming to inspect the grounds. Are the grounds ready?
Thank you, Hashim. This is Kericho Green Stadium. This is going to be the venue where Mashujaa Day, or this year's Mashujaa Day, will be held. A celebration that will be presided over by President William Ruto. And just to bring to you an overview of what is happening here, this stadium was built in 2019, and it has been used for political events, social events, and sportsmen and women from this place have been using this facility for training. But this facility, as it was not in a position to host any national holiday. And that's why the government, the national government, together with the county government, have come together, put in resources to ensure that they upgrade this facility into a national facility that can be able to host a national celebration. And that's why we're here today to look at how work has been done, to look at what is going on here. And PS Interior Raymond Omolo has been around inspecting various projects that are ongoing here. He's been at Kerenga airstrip, where we know most of the dignitaries will be using the airstrip while they make their way here. And also he has been at the residence of County Commissioner, also to look at the standards and just ensuring that everything is fine in preparation for the upcoming Mashujaa celebration. What we can say from morning when we landed here, we met with the project manager, and he told us most of the work is almost done. They're at 85% complete. Most of the work has been done. And he also said that the 15% will be done by 10th of this month, so that the contractor can leave the ground or leave the site and allow other service providers to come in and also get set for the preparations. And that's what we can say. We are waiting for the PS, Dr. Raymond Omolo, to come back from inspecting the residence of County Commissioner plus the airstrip, and he will be coming here so that he is briefed on how far the work has been done and how far the work is yet to be done. But what we can report Green Stadium is that men and women are at work here, working round the clock, ensuring that by 10th the stadium will be ready, and even being on a national standard and ready to host this year's Mashujaa celebrations. So that's what is happening here, Hashim, and I know by evening we'll be having a detailed report of what the PS will be coming up with and the brief that he will be letting us know, and even Kenyans, so that they prepare to come here in numbers so that they can celebrate the Mashujaa Day. The VIP pavilion is ready, almost ready. We have seen a lot of painting being done and a little bit of fixing here and there. And also, apart from that, that pavilion has been expanded and it has a capacity, seating capacity that can accommodate at least 3,000 attendees. And also the stadium has been expanded and now it can host at least 10,000 attendees or Kenyans who will come here to host, to celebrate Mashujaa celebrations. So what I can report is that 80% of work has been done, and in the next 10 days the contractor will be handing over the facility to the government so that they can get ready for the celebrations. So coming from this place, I can also say that different agencies from the government, including the army, police, that is security agencies, and other agencies have come together so that to see the work is done by 10th. And we'll be telling you more and we'll be following up on what is happening here, even that 10th, to show you on how the stadium looks like, and Kenyans will be ready to come together and celebrate Mashujaa Day this year here at Kericho Green Stadium. Back to you, studio. Hashim.
Thank you so much. That is our reporter Beatrice Gatonye in Kericho County in preparations for the Mashujaa Day celebration. As you saw your images earlier, is that 85% of that particular project has been completed, with Beatrice telling us 15% will be completed by the 10th of October. You do remember that this year's celebration will be centered around the universal healthcare coverage that will be launched officially by President William Ruto. Now to other news, medics are urging men to also go for breast cancer screening for early diagnosis and treatment. This as they note that women still dominate breast cancer statistics in the country. Data from the Ministry of Health indicates that about 6,000 new cases and 2,500 deaths related to breast cancer are reported annually in the country. Speaking during a breast awareness campaign in Thika, Kiambu County, organized by Mary Help to Seek Mission Hospital, medics noted risk factors are increasing by the day, urging members of the public to eat balanced diets and prevent the disease.
I was diagnosed with cancer from 2021 up to now. I usually go for treatment. The only thing I can tell people is just to go for screening. The early, the better.
We are encouraging women, young girls, or women, and even men to come for early diagnosis and detection of breast cancer. Because breast cancer at stage 1 and stage 2, it is curable, it is treatable.
So we just encourage you people to come and be examined and be healthy.
Indeed, prevention is better than a cure. Let's head over to the political front, where the United Democratic Alliance UDA party has announced positions up for grabs in the wards, constituencies and county levels in the upcoming December 9th, 2023 grassroots election. Now, in a notice published in the local dailies, Secretary General Cleophas Malala said those interested in vying for the positions should submit their applications by November 2nd, 2023. Malala further said applications will be done via the UDA election portal. At the county congress, it will comprise 20 constituency committee members who will be drawn from each constituency from the county, as well as the elected county leaders of the party in the county. This will include governors, their deputies, senators and women representatives. The announcement by Malala comes a few days after the party held its national governing convention at the Bomas of Kenya, where key among the resolutions made was to hold grassroots elections. And in other news, the government will establish Huduma centers across all the counties to ensure that there is ease of access to government services. Gender and Public Service Cabinet Secretary, that is Aisha Juma, says through the program, Kenyans who have challenges accessing their technology will receive proper assistance. Now, speaking during the official launch of the program, Juma said the Huduma Kenya program under her ministry has repositioned itself as a bridge to take the government digitalized services to the people through its platforms.
Matarajio yangu ni kuleta huduma za umma karibu zaidi na mwananchi iwezekanavyo, haswa wale walio na changamoto za kiteknolojia na wanaoishi na ulemavu, kwa kuanzisha vituo vya huduma za serikali katika kila eneo bunge nchini. Huduma centers, huduma mashinani programs, our contact centers and the telecounseling centers will continue to act as the first line support for all digitized government services.
Elsewhere, Bomet County Government has entered a memorandum of understanding with the African Medical Research Foundation, that is AMREF, and in terms of a research foundation, AMREF, for the provision of primary healthcare and prevention of non-communicable diseases. AMREF County Director Dr. Ndirangu Wanjiku revealed that their focus is on community health, even as he hailed the national government for kitting 1,000 community health promoters, terming it a great boost to the provision of the universal healthcare coverage. Now, Area Governor Hilary Barchok vowed to implement the MOU, even as he lauded AMREF Africa for its support.
The signing of a memorandum of understanding between AMREF Africa and Bomet County Government is indeed a game changer in the provision of primary health care and prevention of non-communicable diseases. The two entities undertook to jointly implement preventive health care initiatives. AMREF County Director Dr. Ndirangu Wanjuki said the county residents will be able to see change in 2 years' time.
It's the vision of AMREF is lasting health change. And the mission is to transform the health of communities through primary health care. And how we do this is to ensure that as we strengthen health systems, people are at the center.
Dr. Wanjuki also rooted for a social health insurance fund to boost access to quality medical care.
You're always asking, what are the key ailments that the populations, that the household members suffer from or are affected by? Is it maternal health issues? Is it non-communicable diseases like diabetes and hypertension and all that? And then we work with you to build systems around that. And that is what we call people-centered health systems.
Area Governor Professor Hilary Barchok vowed to implement the MOU, saying the support of an oxygen tank at Longisa Sub-County Hospital by AMREF will improve services at the facility's intensive care unit.
And I want to commit that it will not just remain something to be understood. It will not remain a memorandum of understanding, but through our operational activities, we will make it to be a memorandum of action.
The county also flagged off toolkits for 2,460 community health promoters spread across 246 community health units in the county.
Us, as a county, and I want to believe that now that we have entered into an MOU, the friendship, the partnership, and the relationship will be even more stronger, even as we look out to more partners joining us on board.
The kits include a backup, a first aid box, an infrared clinic thermometer, weighing scale, among other basic equipment. The government also pledged to improve health facilities in the county, hinting at establishing a mother and child wellness center to improve maternal health care. Timothy Kipnosu for Lunchtime News.
Meanwhile, more than 60 students from Eregi Girls High School in Kakamega County are admitted to various health facilities undergoing tests to diagnose the disease they are ailing from. Now, 30 students are admitted to the Kakamega Level 5 Hospital, 20 to the Shibwe Hospital, and 10 to the Iguhu Hospital, respectively. The affected girls complained of feeling paralysis in the legs, making it difficult to walk. Initial laboratory tests revealed that the students had elevated electrolytes. Medical personnel from the Kenya Medical Research Institute are expected to visit the school to assess the situation. Let's head over back to the corridors of justice, where 2 men and a Kenyan and a Ugandan as well have been handed combined 70-year jail term by Siaya Court after being convicted of defilement. Now, Maurice Obondo, also known as Japolo, will serve 40 years in prison, while Jackson Imanoi alias Tororo received a 30-year jail term for their heinous crimes against minors.
Maurice Obondo, a motorcyclist who defiled a 9-year-old girl he had offered a lift, has been jailed for 40 years. Siaya Magistrate Benjamin Limo found him guilty of committing the offence in February last year in Sirembe, North Game location, Yala Sub-County.
After evaluating the evidence and exhibits produced in court, the court finds as follows. In the matter of this case, the age of the minor was not in dispute. The minor who was the complainant in this matter was 89 years at the time of the offence. As the birth certificate was produced as exhibit before the court. From the medical examination, the doctor reached a conclusion that the PWN was defiled. So, Maurice, you are convicted of defilement as charged on the main charge.
At the same time, Jackson Imaoi, a Ugandan citizen who was accused of defiling a 3-year-old girl on the 11th of December 2022, was sentenced to serve a 30-year jail term. The parents of the minor said they found her missing when they returned home from the market, only to see her emerging from Jackson's house. John Junge for Lunchtime News.
And that story by Jojuan takes us to a first commercial break here at KBC's Lunchtime News. I can see 28 minutes past the hour. Don't go too far. On the other side of the break, we have more news for you. Don't go too far.
The National Construction Authority, NCA, is the legal body mandated to regulate the construction industry and coordinate its development. The authority, in partnership with KBC Channel 1, invites you for an accreditation drive and safety sensitization exercise under the theme Usalama kwa Ujenzi on Tuesday, 3rd October, 10th Street, Eastleigh. There will be entertainment and free education on matters of construction in Kenya. Come meet your favorite presenters and artists, including Jua Kali, Mgenge, Dufla and Diligon. The exercise shall kick off from 9 a.m. from 10th Street, Eastleigh, next to Huduma Center, where we shall offer accreditation for construction workers and site supervisors. To be accredited, please carry a copy of your national ID, passport size photos, copies of academic certificates or recommendation letter from an NCA registered contractor. This exercise shall then be followed by a roadshow flagged off by the Kamukunji Constituency Member of Parliament, Honorable Abdi Yusuf Hassan. The roadshow will proceed to Shauri Moyo, Majengo, Bahati, Kariobangi, Fedha, Pipeline, Kayole, Dandora, Kangundo Road, Mwiki, Kasarani, and end at Roysambu. Jenga Haki, Jenga Smart. The National Construction Authority, promoting excellence in the construction industry.
1 year in office, 23 ministries. Time to review the journey in implementing the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. What is your assessment of the government's performance? Will they ace the performance test? Tune in to KBC News at 9 p.m. for the government scorecard.
If you're so sure about your accusations, I suppose you have a proof, right? I know how rotten you are. That is why it will only be me who's going to drag you out of my sawmill plant.
Let go of me!
Hey, you leave her alone, will you?
That's enough, Uriel!
You told my brother what I did. I have told you that when you irritate me, it will cost you very dearly, and I mean dearly.
Why don't you go with her instead of pursuing me just to annoy your brother? Because what can be expected from a man who allows his wife to treat him like this?
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Let's head over back to the corridors of justice, where it has been more than 12 years since the brutal murder of one Agnes Wanjiru, which is said to have been committed by a British soldier while on a training mission in Nyanyuki, Laikipia County. Now, the family of the deceased claims to have sought justice for their loved one without any success, citing diplomatic bottlenecks.
Miwili tangu wakati yule askari wa British Army alipomuua Agnes Wanjiru, ambaye ni member wa family hii yetu. Na sisi tukiwa kama familia tuko na maswali mengi ambayo tunaendelea kujiuliza katika moyo wetu. Tunajiuliza ya kwamba, je, kama ni askari wetu hapa Kenya alienda nchi za ng'ambo atende kitendo kama hiki, je, kaburi yake tungeweza kuiona kweli? Angekuwa tayari ameshtakiwa, ameshtakiwa, na saa hii pengine angekuwa akisafu kifungo chake katika gereza. Lakini tunaona huyu jamaa alikuja hapa Kenya, akamuua Wanjiru, akarudi kwao akiwa safe, na alipofika huko kwao akaenda akakonfesi ya kwamba nilifanya kitendo pale Kenya na si kufanywa jambo. Sasa nasema hivi, najua kwamba serikali iko na kila uwezo wa kuona ya kwamba familia hii tumeweza kupata haki.
Ile kitu inakasirisha katika sisi kama watu wa majengo na watu wengi ni kwa sababu ya kwamba hakuna kitu serikali imefanya. So we feel so sad, and mimi kivyangu mimi feel ati familia imeachiliwa, huyo mtoto ameachiliwa, tumeachilia tu hiyo suspect aende tu hivyo, na wale watu ambao the backbone of this story inafaa kuanzia na viongozi wetu.
Now, he was in office for just 7 months and went down in history as the minister who served for the shortest stint in President Mwai Kibaki's cabinet. That notwithstanding, Geoffrey Mapukuri Parparai distinguished himself as a defender of the Maasai rights, both as a legislator and a cabinet minister. Parpai, who was among the first cabinet ministers in Kibaki's government, was in charge of the civil service when he died from colon cancer, aged 51 years. Here's our focus on this afternoon's cabinet.
Born in 1952 in Kajiado South in the then Kajiado district, Geoffrey Parpai began his education at the Loitoktok Primary School and later joined Olkejuado Secondary School for his O-level education. He later joined the Kenya Institute of Administration, now School of Government, where he trained as an accountant. In 1982, he became the clerk of Olkejuado Town Council, where he worked until 1992 when he joined elective politics. Parpai would join KANU, but in 1991, after the repealing of Section 2A of the Constitution that allowed multipartyism, he would decamp to the newly formed Democratic Party led by Mwai Kibaki. He contested the Kajiado South post but did not win after managing 9,383 votes against the incumbent MP Philip Singaru of KANU, who won with 12,292 votes. Singaru was Professor George Saitoti's ally. Despite the setback, Parpai's political star would shine from that time on and would make a comeback in the 1997 polls, winning the seat after he beat Singaru with a margin of over 3,500 votes. During these elections, Parpai would become Democratic Party presidential candidate Mwai Kibaki's appointment in the Maasai region. In Parliament, Parpai was known to sometimes lose his cool when discussing issues to do with the Ma community. As an MP, Parpai was pushing for the elevation of Loitoktok division to sub-county status. he would join Mwai Kibaki to form the National Rainbow Coalition (NAC) to topple KANU, which had ruled since independence. He was shortly after appointed the minister in charge of personnel management. His assistant minister was Maurice Zoro, the then MP for Kaloleni. In the Kibaki cabinet, Parpai remains one whose competencies as a minister was barely tested owing to his brief stint, but he was a trusted President Mwai Kibaki's lieutenant in the Ma community. For the cabinet, I'm Ben Troy Njue.
Welcome to the world of business. Now we start with this. The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation KBC, in collaboration with the National Construction Authority NCA, has rolled out a public sensitization campaign in a bid to increase the level of adherence to building standards and regulations in the country. The official flag-off has just happened at the California Resource Center in Eastleigh, Nairobi County. I do understand that our senior business reporter Regina Manyara now joins us. Regina, if you can hear me, good afternoon. What is the latest between the cooperation between KBC and NCA?
Good morning. We're coming to you live from Calif here, where KBC Channel 1 is partnering with the National Construction Authority to raise public awareness when it comes to matters of safety around the building and construction sector. And taking us through this conversation is none other than Engineer Maurice Okech, who's in charge of matters of safety as well as the Executive Director of the National Construction Authority. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
So tell us, we have had an increased cases, in collapsed building and such. From where you sit, what is the missing link in all this?
Well, National Construction Authority is charged with the responsibility of oversighting and coordinating the development of construction industry in Kenya. One of our roles is to ensure that for a building or any construction to take place, there must be a licensed contractor, there must be a accredited construction worker and site supervisor, and the project must also be registered, meaning that the project must have met all the statutory requirements, including if it's a building, county approval, must have an engineer on board who is responsible for that construction, and must also have a licensed contractor, as well as ensuring that it has an architect for a case of a building. Or for any other project, the professional must be commensurate with the scope of work to be done. Now, from time to time, and when incidents of collapse occur, inquiries are done, and the things that have come out strongly when an inquiry and finding is in place is the fact that some of these projects are not properly supervised. Some of them have also not followed the rules, and they're not compliant, in the sense that you find a building approved for a certain number of floors, maybe 3. There is that impunity where someone increases additional floors without due regard to the existing foundation and existing support structure or support system. The other issue is issues of substandard material, and all these things is what we are now putting together to say that we must tell all stakeholders and the public that for you to get the right product, a building, whatever project you are doing, you must ensure you do it through proper standards. And that's why we are here to promote issues of safety in construction industry in Kenya.
Now, sir, how many quack contractors that you've mentioned has NCA prosecuted so far?
Well, a quack contractor is a contractor who is not registered. So if you're not registered, basically you're not a contractor. For the contractors whom we have investigated and found to be culpable, I want to indicate that so far, for the last 5 years, we have actually taken action against 18 contractors. Some of those contractors have been suspended for a period of 3 years. Remember, when you're suspended, you have no business in construction, which means if that was the source of your livelihood, you have to look for something else. Some have been suspended for 2 years, that's 24 months. Some have been suspended for 6 months. Some have also been cautioned, depending on the level of culpability. So this is what we have done to the contractors who have been investigated and found to have been culpable on the incident that have occurred in their jurisdiction. And for an investigation to be done on a contractor inquiry, it's not just a collapse. It could be a misconduct in terms of either not delivering a project as per the expectation of the employer or the developer, and then maybe they are reported to us, then we take action against them. So it's bordering on so many misconduct issues that a contractor may be engaged in. Yeah.
Now, sir, there's been a conversation around having, or rather lack of skilled labor within this particular value chain, where we are having this sector infiltrated by foreign contractors. What is your take? What is the current mix when it comes to the building and construction sector, local versus foreign contractors?
Well, we have also a mandate to register foreign contractors. Remember, for any person to conduct any business construction, they must be licensed by a National Construction Authority. So for foreign contractors, we only license them on the basis of having been awarded a contract. A foreign contractor cannot come and say that they have a license for NCA and waiting for a job to bid. We license them on a job-by-job basis, on a contract-by-contract basis. And when they come, there is a requirement that before we issue a license to a foreign contractor, they must identify within the local content a contractor whom they can partner with in terms of joint ventureship, in terms of subcontracting, to the tune of minimum 30% of that contract before we issue the license. And this means, this gives opportunity for what we call skills transfer, technology transfer to our local contractors, so that by the time the project is over, we have a local contractor who has also trained or been onboarded on those skills and those new technologies. Now, the issue of about the ratio of local versus foreign contractors are very small. In fact, it's less than 1% of the entire construction contractors we have licensed. We have about 50,000+ contractors in Kenya. For foreign contractors, they're just shy of about 150 or thereabout. So it's a very small number, and they're based on project basis.
So what would you term as your greatest achievement as NCA to date?
Well, of course, Regina will be joining us a little bit later on with a comprehensive package in terms of the cooperation between NCA and KBC. To other news now, Kenya Power has implemented a rapid result initiative that will see accelerated meter installation for new connections and replacement of faulty meters after they received over 300,000 new meters that had been delayed due to a pending court case of a procurement. Now, the managing director, Dr. Joseph Siror, regretted that the legal issues had led to the difficulties in serving customers promptly due to the lack of materials. The initiative, which began this week, has already installed 10,759 meters as part of the efforts to clear the backlog of new connections.
We've had about 5 litigations which were dealing with the issue of stopping certain procurements, and when the courts went through all the documents, what we presented and what those who had gone to court presented, they ruled in our favor that we are surmounting most of these challenges and materials have started trickling in. Indeed, I think this past week we received 320,000 meters, and we know that we are going to cover all the backlog in terms of the new connections. We are going also to cover even the replace all the faulty meters.
Now listen to this. A Kenyan publisher is using artificial intelligence to help students access learning materials at a fraction of a cost-printed book. On average, learners in Kenya spend about 14,900 Kenya shillings annually on textbooks. Take a look.
Currently, publishers say sale of general reading materials through bookshops are on the decline as Kenyans prioritize food. This means many learners in poor households do not access the required learning materials. Now, a Kenyan publisher has come up with an innovative way to offer learners access to learning materials.
So the first product that we came up with was e-books, because books make one of the core elements of learning within the education curriculum. Secondly is comprehension. So books alone don't get learners to meet their learning objectives. You also need technology to help ensuring that there is understanding within classroom.
Longhorn Publishers' learning platform has been built to be accessible to both those offline and online.
Let me take a subject like science, integrated science, where they learn about
finding the pH of various things at home. So in our virtual lab, we have simulations that enable them to do that, so they can drain those solutions and measure the pH. So that is making it more live than what they just read in a book.
Thanks to AI, more than 25,000 learners like Susan are using the platform, including those in camp refugees and those living in remote areas.
Reading online is easy to understand simply because the notes are specifically arranged and you can get them easily. But reading the textbook, you can waste a lot of time by searching for the notes.
It is believed that AI can change traditional learning and reduce the equity gap in education. Alanauko, Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, Equity Bank Kenya has sealed a deal to offer financing for potential property owners in Tatu City. Equity Bank Kenya Commercial Director Humphrey Muturi says the lender will tailor financial solutions to empower individuals, businesses and communities keen on purchasing or construction of property within Tatu City.
Equity Bank Kenya has committed to offer a comprehensive range of investment services tailored to meet the diverse needs of individuals and businesses in Tatu City. The financial products will encompass land purchases, construction loans for houses, and funding companies on acquired plots, as well as offering mortgages for existing property owners within Tatu City. The partnership is expected to facilitate accessible and flexible financing options to cushion homeowners and small and medium enterprises within the dynamic community. Tatu City has already laid down infrastructure and supporting amenities at the 5,000-acre special economic zone. Equity Bank Kenya Commercial Director Humphrey Muturi said the strategic partnership with Tatu City aligns with their dedication to drive socio-economic transformation across Africa. Currently, more than 9,000 people work at the 75 businesses based at the Tatu City in Kiambu County. In addition, there are 35,000 learners at 2 international schools. Edna Murungi, reporting for Lunchtime News.
And now finally, let's play. Mikhailo Mudryk scored his first goal as Chelsea beat Fulham 2-0 for their second league win of the 2023-2024 season. Meanwhile, the UEFA Champions League resumes today with several matches on card, where Manchester United will take on Galatasaray at Old Trafford in the second Champions League group stage fixture.
Mikhailo Mudryk gave the away side the lead. Meanwhile, the UEFA Champions League resumed today with several matches on card, where Manchester United will take on Galatasaray at Old Trafford in their second Champions League group stage fixture.